Okay, first one. 2f from 2.1. Now, almost everybody got it correct. But why is it that I want to bring up this question again? Now, we know that there are a few methods we can use to solve quadratic equations like this. Most of you, roughly about half of you, tried to expand this into ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. And then you use either factorization, completing a square, or the quadratic formula in order to obtain the two values. Okay, about half of you expanded it. But actually, do you see that they have common factors? Yes. How about if we choose to factorize that out? Would it make our jobs easier? Let's take a look. So if I subtract 9x plus 1 from both sides, this is what I'll obtain. X plus 1 squared minus 9, x plus 1 equals to 0. Okay, so now, next step, I'll be factorizing x plus 1 out. X plus 1. And in the first x plus 1 square, I'll be left with x plus 1 again. So x plus 1 minus 9 equals to 0. Okay? Therefore, x plus 1, x minus 8 equals to 0. For those of you who expanded, didn't you arrive at the same two factors? Right? Okay, so from here, it's easy already. We can conclude that x plus 1 must be equal to 0, or x plus 1 equals to negative 8. So definitely the next step must be x equals to negative 1, or x equals to, x minus 8. Is x minus 8 equals to 0, or x equals to 8. Okay, so these are the two answers. Whichever method you use, you will still get the same answer, provided you did it correctly. So do you have a preference? Do you prefer my method or your own method? Okay, so regardless, try to find the way that is most efficient. Time is precious, especially during our tests and exams. Okay, likewise, this is recorded, so I won't give you too much time to copy. Next one, 3D. After doing a series of quadratic equations where you had to expand, factorize, solve, I saw that many of you actually did expand this. Also, you gave me x squared minus 2x times 5 over 2 plus negative 5 over 2 squared equals to 9 over 4. And then you rearranged so that you get ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, factorized equals to 0, and you get x equals to something or something. Okay? So, this approach is okay. But is there an easier method again? What is the easier method? Yeah, this being a perfect square already makes our job a lot easier if we can simply square root both sides. This process of square rooting both sides, after I have a perfect square on the left hand side, it is actually how we obtain the quadratic formula. So we square root both sides, we get x minus 5 over 2 equals to plus minus square root of 9 over 4. That gives me 3 over 2 or negative 3 over 2. So this is x minus 5 over 2. So from here on, it must be clear to you that we have 5 over 2 plus 3 over 2 or 5 over 2 minus 3 over 2. And you get your answers. Okay? Okay, so that's all for the homework. Any questions? Any other questions from homework you want me to go through? Otherwise, I saw that most of you, in fact, almost everybody, could complete the square correctly. Some of you chose to skip steps. I don't know where you learned that from. You chose to skip steps, which, if I didn't make any comment, means it's acceptable. But I still want you to go through the process to know how, why. Why is it that you could skip that step? Please do not just listen to others who say, when you complete the square, right, you just look at, okay, so let me give you an example. So for example, if I have x squared plus 3x minus 5. Okay, I want you to complete a square for this. Is this an equation? No, it's not an equation. Please do not give me things like this. I didn't say it is equal to 0. do not put in the equal to 0 by yourself, because then you will be trying to solve it. One more thing, I saw something interesting. From here, the next line, I obtained this x squared plus 3x equals to 5. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Why?
First one equation.
Yeah, this only makes sense if I say that it is equal to 0, but I didn't. So you cannot write this, okay? So I digress. Let me go back to my main point. If I want to complete the square for this, I expect x squared plus 3x plus 3 over 2 squared, may subtract it away again, minus 3 over 2 squared minus 5. This is what I expect. First three terms can be combined to give me x plus 3 over 2 squared minus, okay, here we can evaluate already, 9 over 4 minus 5. Okay, and then you have a final step. This is what I see for some students. For the same question, this is how you present. X squared plus 3x minus 5. This is what you write. I know I'm going to complete the square. Let me just start with a bracket. Alright, now x plus, I look at the coefficient of x, which is 3. 3 over 2 squared. I just ignore the x. I just put a bracket and I'll square it. Then I will subtract away a certain number, which is 3 over 2 squared minus 5. Okay, this one in black and the one in blue. Which do you prefer?
Black.
Prefer black. Why?
It's shorter.
Because it's shorter? Sure, go ahead. You can do this, I'll still give you the full marks. But, do you know why it is like this?
Yes.
Does the one in black show you why you get this?
No.
Does the one in blue show you why you get this?
Yes.
Which is why I want you to train yourselves, make sure you do this all the time so that you are convinced this is the reason why it looks like this. Rather than you go for example, tuition, then your teacher tell you, never mind, just copy down the x, then you put a bracket, copy down the x, plus this one divided by 2, close the bracket, square, minus a certain number, minus 5. And then you just follow. Magically it works, but I don't know why. I absolutely dislike that. Okay, you must know why you are doing the things you are doing. Right, so that's all for our homework. We are moving on to 2.7. I gave you a piece of homework that is to use Desmos to fill in this table. So now please check whether you have the same answers as me. You can do it in your textbook if there is space for you. If you have questions about what I was teaching you about just now, or you can raise your hands or something. When you're going to sketch during your tests and examinations, you are supposed to use pencil and ruler. You've got 2 more minutes. Do you have your graph? Is your graph symmetrical? Does your parabola really look like a parabola? Do you have hairy parabolas? Hairy parabolas. I'm looking for a hairy graph. Hairy, yeah, okay, I see a hairy graph already. By the way, some of you were very sharp. You notice that there's an error in the textbook. This should have been x equals to 1. Okay, the line of symmetry is x equals to 1. There's an error here. I didn't even realize it. So good job. Okay, what do hairy graphs look like? Hairy graphs look like this. Okay, we should not have graphs like this. Wobbly? What do you mean wobbly?
Like a bit shaky.
Like that?
No, like not so ridiculous.
Oh, you calling my drawing ridiculous?
Oh, sometimes.
Okay, you should try as far as possible to have a smooth graph. Okay, and of the correct shape, a parabola that is symmetrical. Okay, so just keep practicing, you'll be able to do it well. So now that your time is up already, let me show you my answers for this. Try it 23. Okay, so x-intercept. Are there any x-intercepts? Help me out here. Are there any x-intercepts?
No.
No, nil. Y-intercept?
7.
Is there only one y-intercept?
Yes.
Yes. What else? Line of symmetry.
2.
2 is not a line.
X equals to 2.
X equals to 2, okay. What about my blank point? What kind of point is it? Minimum or maximum? Minimum, okay. Because the coefficient of x squared is positive. Oops, forgot to record. Oh no, I did. Okay, minimum point. What is the x coordinate?
2, 3.
X coordinate is 2. It is the same as my the value for my line of symmetry. And when x equals to 2, y equals to 3. Is it a coincidence? No, we plan for this to be equals to 0. Okay, with all this, I can now sketch. I am going to get a parabola opening upwards like this. Okay. Okay, better. I don't know, still don't like it. Okay, this is my parabola opening upwards. I've got my minimum point at 2, 3. So drawing my line of symmetry. This is x equals to 2. Alright? Now my job is to fill in the x and y axis. Where does my x-axis lie? Below the graph. Okay, let's have it over here. X. Where does my y-axis lie? Left again. Okay, how about this? Okay? Now, I've got my y-intercept, which is 7. Are you happy with this? Are you happy with this? No? What's wrong? Scale. What do you want me to change? How do you want me to shift the x-axis? Up. How about this? Better? Okay, 0 and then my equation. Y equals to x minus 2 square plus 3. Okay, so this is my graph. Any questions? No. Then we've got example 24 showing a graph, a parabola opening downwards. Go through the same steps, everything is the same, just that you end up with a parabola opening downwards. Then you have your maximum point. Drawing your x and y axis, and you're done. Okay? So this one, I will be going through. You get to do this as your homework. Due tomorrow. If you need help, you can always refer to the video or you can look at the example directly above it. Yes? Yeah, you can do it on textbook. I just need you to try it, be prepared, and bring it to class tomorrow. Okay? Now, all these things that we have done so far were graphs of this form. Do you realize it? The graphs that we have been sketching, they are all of this form, and it is known as the completed square form. Is there any other way to represent quadratic expressions? Yes, we learned this, x plus a, x plus b, for example, right? Y equals to this. This is quadratic. What if we are told to sketch a graph like this? Do you want to change it back to the completed square form in order to sketch? Since we are all familiar with that already? You can, but you're wasting your time. I show you how to do it really quickly. Yeah? Okay, so before that, we need to make some observations again. Okay, so we see this in our table. Again, I'll be using Desmos to guide you through them. Okay, so the very first graph that we have is x minus 1, x minus 4. So y equals to x minus 1 multiplied by, x minus 4. Okay, so this is my graph of x minus 1, x minus 4. Okay, let's see what the textbook wants us to fill in. Points of intersection with the x-axis. In other words, the x-intercept. Do you remember how we always get our x-intercept? When do we get the x-intercepts? When? Y equals to 0. Y equals to 0 is the equation of my x-intercept, right? Or of my x-axis. And we can see clearly from here, at least for me, because the numbers are big enough for me, it intersects at 1 and 4. Okay? They intersect at 1 and 4. How do you think we can obtain these values directly from the equation of the graph? Okay, x minus 1 equals 0 as well as x minus 4 equals to 0. We've done some examples in the previous topic already. So those are the two values where I have the x-intercepts. Okay? It's not difficult, right? Compared to if it is a completed square form. If you are given a completed square form, for example, y equals to... Why is it disappearing? When you are given y equals to, for example, x plus 8 square minus 100. Okay, this is a completed square form. If I ask you to find the x-intercept, what will you do? What will you do to find the x-intercept? Okay, y equals to 0. Then this 100 comes over here. Then you square root both sides, right?
Yes.
Then you find x, right? So you see, it is easier to find the x-intercept if we are given graphs of this form. Agree? Agree? Okay, so let me... Okay, it is easier to find the x-intercepts if you are given in this form. So straight away, I don't even need my graphing software already. I can easily write out all my x-intercepts. Okay, so take 30 seconds to fill this in. All you need to do is to just let both of the brackets be equal to 0. Write down the x coordinate. And of course the y coordinate must be 0, since they are all on the x-axis. Okay, just fill in this part. Now, let us talk about the y-intercept. When does the y-intercept happen?
X equals 0.
Yes, you keep telling yourself this. You keep reminding yourself so that when you are given in future a cubic equation, you also know how to find the x and y intercepts. Okay, so when x equals to 0, it is again very easy to calculate. Negative 1 times negative 4, I get 4. 2 times negative 1, I get negative 2. 3 times 5 is 15, multiplied by negative, I get, wait, it's 3. 3 times 5 is 15, times negative 1, I should get negative 15. Okay, and finally, when x is equal to 0, I get 1 times negative 3, which is negative 3 multiplied by negative, I get 3. Easy to get a y-intercept? Okay. Line of symmetry. Okay, I've done this using the graphing software already. You can try it out yourself. But I just want you to copy this down and tell me, is there an easy way to determine the line of symmetry? Remember in our completed square form, we knew how to find the line of symmetry, right? Whatever is inside the bracket, we set it to be equal to 0. Our line of symmetry will just appear. That was completed square form. Now I don't have the completed square form. How do I find the line of symmetry really fast? Wow, what are you talking about? What is he talking about? Do you know what is he talking about?
Maybe.
Okay, take some time, think about this. I give you a clue, it came from here. They are related. Okay, think about it, think about it. 1 minute to think about it. Now, this is our summary so far. Okay? Do you think with all this information, you are ready to sketch a graph?
Yes.
Let's try. Let us try. We can skip all these. Let's go to example 25. You are told to sketch this graph, labeling the intercepts with the axis. Would you all like to come and teach? Okay, pay attention. Now, when I have to sketch the graph, I will always use my same template. What do I want to find first? X-intercept, Y-intercept. What else? Line of symmetry. Then it will be x equals to. The line of symmetry is x equals to, and finally the blank point equals to, and then a set of coordinates. I always use this to help me with my sketch. Okay, because all these are crucial information. Now, from this question, can you tell me what the x-intercepts are really quickly? X-intercepts. Can you see that? From the question straight away, we let y equals to 0. What about the y-intercept? Can I find that easily? Y-intercept. When does the y-intercept happen? Okay, x equals 0. Substitute in quickly. X equals to 0. What do we have? Negative 4. Not difficult again. Line of symmetry. Line of symmetry. What did we discover earlier on? x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Okay, what is x1, what is x2? And 4. Okay, add them up, what do we get?
1.5.
3. Okay, so divided by 2 we get 1.5, which is simply 3 over 2. That is my line of symmetry. And what kind of point do I have? Is it a maximum or minimum? And how do we determine the shape? How do we... No, how do we determine the shape? Is it a parabola opening downwards or parabola opening upwards? No, not whether the x is positive or negative. How do we know whether it's a minimum or maximum point? There's coefficient of what?
X squared.
X squared. Okay, we need to look at the coefficient of x squared. Do I have x squared over here?
No.
Can I generate it?
Yes.
How?
X times X.
Okay, then what is the coefficient of x squared? Positive. I just need to know positive or negative, right? So it is positive, meaning I will have a... What kind of shape will I get? Okay, minimum point. So minimum point is, what is the x value? 3 over 2. It must be the same as the line of symmetry. Must be the same. When x is equals to 3 over 2, what is y? This is where you need to calculate. When x equals to 3 over 2, y equals to 3 over 2 plus 1, 3 over 2 minus 4. And the answer, how much? Negative 6 and 1 quarter, is it? Sure. Okay, I prefer to leave it in improper fraction. So this will be negative 25 over 4. Okay? Now, with all this information, I will now sketch again. I will always sketch with my parabola first. Then I will fill in all the other information. This is a parabola opening upwards. It has a minimum point like this. Okay. So minimum point of 3 over 2 and negative 25 over 4, which we know it is negative 6 and 1 quarter. So my line of symmetry, this being x equals to 3 over 2. And if you like, you can draw in another helping line. This is negative 25 over 4. Okay, we are now ready to fill in our axis.
Wait, for the graph, can we draw, for the grading, can we just draw like yours, a bit wobbly?
A bit wobbly, yeah. That's why I'm trying to set a good example, you know.
It's very hard to not draw wobbly.
That's why you need to practice, and I'm practicing also. Okay? Due to the lack of time, I'll just make do with this. But I want good standards from you. Okay? I want high standards from you. Okay, now, x-axis, where should it be? Above, below, or on the green line? X-axis, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This is negative 25 over 4. Where is my x-axis? Above the green line, below the green line, or on the green line? Look at it carefully. I think it's very hard to see. This value is y equals to negative 25 over 4. Okay, where is my x-axis? Above, raise our hand. Who thinks it's above? Okay, who thinks it's below? Who thinks it's on the green line? Why do you think it will be on the green line? I'm looking for my x-axis now. My x-axis implies that y equals to 0. Okay, I've already got one reference over here, y equals to negative 25 over 4. So where is my x-axis? Above, it must be above, something like this. Okay? If this is my x-axis, then where is my y-axis? On the left or right of the dotted line? X-axis, y-axis on the left or right? Left or right? Left. Okay, let's draw it over here first. Then we check whether everything makes sense. Okay, currently it's on the left, right? Is this okay? Why? You all can do this. You can do this. It just takes some getting used to. Okay, let us now put in all other information that we have and check our answers. Apparently the x-intercept is negative 1 and 4. Are you okay with this? Does it make sense currently? Why not? So what if the 3 over 2 is below? What is positive? This is 3 over 2. X coordinate is 3 over 2. Does it still make sense? Okay, it is still okay. What about the y-intercept? What is the y-intercept? Negative 4 over here. Okay? Negative 4 is below the x-axis, right? It makes sense. What about this minimum point? What is this value? Negative 25 over 4, right? It is actually the same as negative 6 and 1 quarter. Negative 6 and 1 quarter. Is the scale okay for you? Why not? Actually, in my opinion, right, it's still okay lah. It's still okay. But if you want it to be better, go and adjust your x-axis or your y-axis accordingly. Okay? as long as it is not too far off, it is not too exaggerated, we are okay. Remember, we are not plotting. It does not have to be to scale. We are just sketching. So with this, we are actually happy with it. Put in the 0, y equals to x plus 1, x minus 4. Okay? So this is the answer. Alright? Now, if I want to really try and make it to scale, what will you adjust? The x or y axis?
X.
I will choose to adjust the y-axis. You get to experiment with it yourself and discover it for yourself, okay? Both ways can work. Go and practice it. Okay? There are reasons why I choose to adjust different axes. So with the last 5 minutes, I would like you to copy down these homework questions. Actually, I have more. I've got more questions.